Hello, hi, this is Ashna. Today I would like to discuss on final project details of data visualization. The final project consists of 4 parts. Part 1, multivariate data visualization using graphs. Part 2, exploring large data set with Tableau. Part 3, data visualization with Tableau. Part 4, data visualization with Python, Pandas and MATLAB. Part 1. Part 1 is multivariate data visualization using the graphs. To understand multivariate variate data visualization, we need 4 or more variables. So here I have created a random data set of student with 15 other persons like mother, father, sister, professor, classmate, dean, and the relationship value is given using strength and length. The strength of the value is ranges between 10 to 100 and length of the value ranges between 10 to 30. And to understand the relationship between the relatives, I'm using the chord diagram in the Power BI. The chord diagram, the graph is in the form of circle, and the association is represented in the form of length of the arc and the point between the student and other relatives. Here I would like to show the chord diagram of length by student and the relative, length of the values between student and the relative. If you see in the graph, the student is associated with all the relatives and the length of the arc of the circle varies. The mother and father is having the maximum length of the arc that ranges between 0 to 29, and the length of the arc is least for the professor, dean and the classmates. So as the value increases, the length of the arc between the relationship also increases. And next, I would like to show the chord diagram between length and the relatives in terms of strength. If you see even here, the student is connected with all the relatives in the diagram, and the father and mother are having the maximum length ranges between 0 to 99, and if you see the dean is having very least 0 to 9, that is only just the 10, and similarly all other relatives are represented in the form of arc, and length of the arc represents the value of the strength between them. So this is how we understand multivariate data visualization. Next, I would like to discuss on exploring large data set with Tableau. To understand the large data set, we have the crime details over the period 2001 to 2015. There are around 6 millions of cases, criminal cases, and the data includes like about location, FBI codes, primary type, arrest, domestic, and many other information are collected in the data set. And to understand this data set, I would be like I'll be using different techniques like bar charts, line chart, tree map, etc. to understand in detail about the criminal cases. So here there are around 5,862,792 cases in the dataset, out of which there are 5,862,508 distinct cases. And to look more into the data, there are around 26 distinct FBI codes in the data like 01A, 02, 04A. Similarly, there are other, and also there are 34 distinct primary types of crime like battery, burglary, theft, robbery, and many others. So similarly, there are 34 distinct primary types of crime. And here I would like to show the comparison of total number of cases versus the FBI code. Here I am using the bar chart, as bar chart help us to compare the values very easily, and we can understand the comparison by looking at the bar chart. So here if you see the bar chart, the FBI code 06 is associated with maximum number of the cases, and FBI code 01B is associated with just 22 criminal cases. And if you see the graph here, it is in the decreasing order. See the graph here, the values are in decreasing order. And this is more about the FBI code association with the criminal cases. Next, I would like to discuss more on criminal cases with the primary type. Here if you see the same bar chart between the primary type and the distinct count of cases, the domestic violence is having only one case, and whereas theft is having around 1,211 and 78 cases associated with the theft. So theft is having the more number of cases, whereas domestic violence is having less. And here I would like to discuss more about comparison of crime records with both primary type and FBI records. Here I am using the tree map. As the tree map representation is based on the rectangles, the size and shape of the rectangle tells us the association with them. Larger the area, the larger the association between the details. So if we observe here, the theft is having the larger area, and the FBI code 06 is also having the larger area, and the values is represented in the form of color, diverging color, green to red to green, where red indicates the least number and green indicates the maximum number. So here if you see, the theft is having maximum number of cases associated with FBI code 06. And next, coming to the next, like details about the period of data that are collected. If you see here the data over the period 2001 to 2015, the values are dropping. If we see from 2002 to 2015, there is almost a drop of 68.9% of the cases. And to look more in detail about the cases, this is the more in detail about the change in the values of criminal cases with 2002. If we see, there is a drop of around 10,000 cases, and similarly there is increase in the data, and there is, like, over the period 2003 to 2008, there is almost alternate years there is increase and decrease of the details. And similarly again there is large drop from 2008 to 2009. And if you see from 2013 to 2015, there is a drastic drop of details crime cases. So there is suddenly very huge drop of crime cases. So this is the criminal cases over the period 2001 to 2015. Next, I would like to discuss on the trend of committing a crime in the USA during the period. So here the primary type is distinguished using the different colors, and we can see in the year 2006 there are criminal cases are around 3,904, and only single record of the type battery is in the year 2001 is recorded. And if we observe the graph clearly, the trend is very low initially, and there is a very large peak in the year 2006. And from the 2007, there is a drastically decrease in number of cases, and suddenly there is a sudden spike in the year 2014, and there is a decrease in the year 2015. If we observe, initially there were crimes related to battery, narcotics, liquor violation, and all until 2006. Later on, few other various types of crime cases have evolved, uh, assault, battery, burglary, and similarly other. Next, I would like to discuss on path data visualization with Tableau. Here, to understand the sales record, I have using the various visualization techniques like scatter plot and many other techniques. Here, to understand the relationship between the sales and the profit associated in each region or in terms of in each category, here I'm using the scatter plot. A scatter plot helps to visualize relationship between numeric variables, relationship between the independent and dependent variables. Here, to understand sales information between total number of sales and profit gained with respect to each region and with different region, here in the scatter plot, the region are associated with different color and category are associated with different shade. And this is a graph which shows the association between region, category, and the total number of sales. And if you see here, the technology is having larger number of sales and also even a larger number of profits. And if you observe here, the number of sales are also significant, but still the profit is negative in the region central and furniture category. And if we see that in most of all the regions, the technology is having the highest number of sales, and even profit is also very high compared to other categories. Next, understanding the sales information and profit offered in each segment with respect to region and each category. Here I have used a scatter plot, and the regions are represented with different color, and categories are different, associated with different shape, different size, and segments are associated with different shapes. And if we see that the furniture, the category furniture, and in the central region, the consumer segments are mainly having the negative profits. Even though the sales are high, still the profits are in the negative. And if we observe, the technology is having the higher number of sales and also even higher number of profits. And if we observe, the south region are having the lesser number of sales and a significant of profit values. And if we observe, mostly the furniture category is having the least number of profit, even the sales value is significant. So yeah, these are the couple of insights that we can draw from sales and profit information from the sales record. Next, I would like to discuss on data visualization with Python, Pandas, and MATLAB of PIMA diabetes data. So here are the histogram plot of each numerical variable attributed to the dataset. As in the diabetes, there are around 9 variables, and the association is represented in the form of histogram. This is the histogram of age, class, mass, and similarly this is the histogram of skin and test. And next, the density plot of each numeric value in the dataset are here, and this is a density plot of preg value, this is a plus, and these are the couple of the density plots of the numeric variables. And here are the box plot of each numerical variable. So here if we observe, class doesn't have any outliners, the skin has just a single outliner, and if you observe preg, only couple of outliners, class is entire, there are no outliners in the data. And here is the Python code of exploratory analysis of diabetes. Initially we have imported the libraries and the file is loaded, and we have verified the null values in the data, and we have obtained the shape of the data. And if you see here, we are doing descriptives of the data. This is the descriptors of the data, and this is a code to get the histogram details, and this is the code to get the box plot details, and this is the code to get the density plot details. Thank you.